G'day guys, Sim here, and welcome to another League Racing video. Now I know it's been a little while, once again I've been a little bit busy with moving and stuff, but we are back, and this is AFR around Canada, and as you can see, qualifying was wet, intermediate conditions, making it a little bit trickier than a lot of the other previous qualifying sessions throughout the season. So definitely a lot more pressure on here, and it didn't start out too well. Our first lap, not ideal at 20.7, definitely could have been a lot better. You'll see Skins there immediately beats it with a 20.3. We then go quicker on the next one with a 20.0, Skins again going quicker with a 19.9, and then us improving again with a 19.7, so slowly improving, but you'll see here on our next lap, nearly 3/10 up. And just catching the curb there, and really can't do that in the wet, and stuffing up that lap, that would have put us with a 19.5, which would have been a really good lap. We tried to improve again later, but our last attempt, we invalidated it there. We were down anyway, and that put us in 4th position. So you'll see, if we nailed that first lap, we would have been around matching our teammate in Trin for 2nd place, but it wasn't quite meant to be. So now, getting ready for the start of the race. All I can say before it starts is it was a mad race between the top 4. It was absolutely insane, so getting ready now. Trying to keep it nice and calm as per the start of every other race. And as we go to 5 red lights, we get, once again, an absolutely shocking start. Stars with an insane start there. Getting up into 2nd, passing Artemis, and Trin as well, getting a brilliant start. So, both of those guys really switched on at the very start of the race, and you'll see I'm already starting to let a little bit of a gap get away in front to the top 3 there. They're all sort of a lot more comfortable off the start, it seems, compared to me, and the gap's already like half a second to the guys in front, so it's you know, it's not a big concern being the first lap, but yeah, well, that's his own. Yeah, I wasn't too impressed, as we already have our first warning at the end of lap 1 through the chicane, so not brilliant, as Trin sets the fastest lap, obviously. But yeah, that gap sort of, it's not massive being the first couple of laps of the race, but you know, it's a little bit concerning for me for the rest of the season that I'm really still struggling with the starts of races, but you'll see over these next few laps, the pace is improving. We're at the fastest lap of the race there, 12.0, but we made a little bit of a mistake on the next lap, and you'll see the gap was almost out of DRS range, but once again catching up again on the next lap, so our pace really wasn't as consistent as it should have been. We were really fluctuating. You'll see this top 4 here is really close still on lap 6. Bit of a gap, nearly 5 seconds back to combat in 5th place, but this top 4 battle was absolutely insane as a safety car gets called out, which sort of ruined the little battle a bit here that we were having, but getting ready for the restart now. Once again, something that's really I've been struggling with throughout this season has been my restarts, but you know, not really too concerned about it, just making sure I don't make a horrible mistake and ruin my race off of it. And you'll see, you know, the front 3 get a little bit away from me again. But, you know, obviously this early in the race, that's not too concerning. And you'll see, the top 4 here, all 4 of us were absolutely going for it in these first early laps. Coming onto lap, well, we are on lap 9 now. You'll see we're all really still close to each other, although Artemis in front of us starting to leave a little bit of a gap to the front 2 in Trin and Stars, so it was a little bit concerning. I wasn't really having too many issues keeping up with the back of him, but that bit of a gap in front was getting a little bit worrying. So we get to the end of lap 9 now. You'll see we're within 0.4 of a second here, and thankfully Artemis closed back in within half a second of Stars and Trin in front, but yeah, that was a little bit concerning for a little bit there on that lap. But yeah, really now just focusing on settling back into that rhythm, not wanting to cause any incidents or anything. You'll see we're really strong under braking into this hairpin onto the back straight here. So I was looking at that and thinking of possible opportunities for overtakes later in the race. But you'll see our exits out of that corner at this point really aren't particularly good. We're really sort of struggling to get on the power out of that corner. and sort of having to work hard to try and keep up along that back straight. So a little bit concerning. Obviously, if we fix that up throughout the rest of the race, that'll definitely be a really strong point in the lap for us. You'll see through this first sector, we really seem to be strong through those first couple of corners in comparison to the guys in front. Once again, on the next lap as well, really strong into this hairpin, under braking. But also, yeah, once again, just not quite getting the power down as early as the guys in front. And that continued sort of for the next few laps as well, once again. Nice and deep under braking into the hairpin, and just, once again, just not getting the traction that I really wanted out of that corner. But, yeah, not too concerned about it. But actually, I believe on this lap, we are boxing, trying to get the undercut on everyone else. And you'll see we just completely stuff it. I can't say anything else than that. We went into this pit lane at 112 k's an hour when the limit's 80, so completely stuffed that up. So 5-second penalty to serve for the rest of the race, so that could be really, really damaging for our race now. But yeah, now we just gotta hope we don't come out in too much traffic so we can really maximise this undercut and try and negate the effects of that penalty. You'll see we come out behind a ghosted car in Zudix. There was some sort of issue with his game. He was sort of weirdly desynced with everyone else, which made him ghosted. Supposedly something with a safety car. It said he was always under safety car or something, so hopefully Cody's fixed that. But later that lap, you'll see we've got caught on the back of the Haas of Ibis. I think he just clipped the wall there. So a little bit not great for him. He was looking for a decent race, I believe. But that sort of just made it a little bit easier for us to close in on him in these next few corners. And the traction we get out of turn 2 here was absolutely insane, setting us up for a beautiful move into the chicane here. And that was that move done, so really good. And you'll see, we've also managed to jump Stars by nearly 2 seconds. Sorry, I completely missed that there as we set the fastest lap of the race. But yeah, that undercut really, really worked for us. I didn't feel like I was massively faster than the guys in front before the pit stop, but potentially they were just holding me up a little bit and just getting out of traffic with that pit stop and on the fresher tyres really let me sort of show my pace a bit. So we try and get past Nut there. He makes a bit of a mistake on the exit, so thankfully that made it nice and easy for us. So that's another position gained, and we're up to P7. I believe all the cars in front are still yet to pit. So at this point, this race is really looking good for us, apart from that 5-second penalty, which we are yet to serve in our next pit stop. But I believe this is now another fastest lap of the race, a 1:11.4, so really showing quite a bit of pace now as Artenis beats us by 1/10 there, so he as well on some really good pace at the moment. So we come through here, lap 16, we get a really good run on CK80 here, and with DRS, Rich Mix and overtake, that move was really fairly easy. We didn't have to brake early or anything, or try and take the inside there. We sort of just took the standard line through that corner, which made life a lot easier for us. And then on the next few laps, unfortunately catching my first 3-second penalty there for track limits. So not ideal, currently running with 8 seconds of penalties, still having to serve that 5-second penalty, of course. I believe at this point Stars only had 6 seconds of penalties, so really not ideal in that we might be throwing away our race there, as we get another track limits warning there, going past Mickey into that corner. And then on the next couple of laps, we just clip the back of Skins here, going through the hairpin. You'll see, we get a really good run on him here, and we go around the outside. We just clip the back of him as well, and then not paying attention, I look back behind me at Stars and just run in the back of him here. And then trying to leave him room here on the inside, I just completely misjudged the chicane, and that's another 3-second penalty. But here, if we look at the actual AFR stream, there was actually no need for me to leave that space. Skins was actually trying to go into the pits, and I wasn't aware of it, and I had the entirety of the inside line to take there. But yeah, that was completely my mistake there, unfortunately. But now, on to lap 20, we're stalking the back of Pondon for the on-track second place now. Trin behind us, 2.5 seconds back, so a decent bit of a gap on him. So really, undercut really worked for us so far. We misjudged that corner a little bit of dirty air from behind Pondon, but at this point my pace was pretty confident. Pondon's actually going for a 1 stop here, so his medium's really with 15 laps to go, don't have a whole lot left in them. So really, we do have a bit of an advantage still on our fresher set of mediums. We got a little bit of a back-end loss out of the hairpin there, but still have plenty of speed with the overtake and rich mix there to get past him relatively easily there into the chicane, and now pretty much free to fly, just with combat right in front of us on the medium tyre as well. So now it's pretty much just about being consistent on our pace for the next few laps until our pit stop. So looking at the timing board, we're always every lap within about a second of our fastest lap at the moment, so being relatively consistent. That lap not quite as good, 1.3 seconds slower, but overall about 1 to 1.5 seconds down on our best lap at this point. So really making sure we're consistent and trying to open that gap or hold that gap as much as we possibly can, knowing that we do have that 5-second penalty to serve in the pits still. So as we head into the pits this lap, braking a little bit earlier, making sure we definitely don't speed at all, and just hoping we don't come out too far behind the guys in front. Easily Stars is gonna definitely get us in this pit stop here. But you'll see we have a 20 second gap as we serve the pit stop, and I think as we come into the pits now, it's going to be close. It's going to be a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to be like 6-7 seconds back. You'll see they're only just there. They're really not that far in front of us all, and Stars is also on the medium compound tyre, and the gap is less than 2 seconds, so that's definitely was a massive boost to my confidence. This race was still there for a well, obviously a podium, but potentially a second or first place here. So now absolutely stalking the back of Stars, using our fresher, softer compound tyres to gain as much as we possibly can through every single corner. Just our traction out of every corner on these tyres was just so much better. And you'll see the amount we close in through these next few corners in Sector 2. Misjudging there a little bit, going a bit deep, but still the time we gain even with that error, it's just absolutely insane. We're not using any fuel or ERS right now either. It's just on raw pace through the corners, and the traction we get out of this corner now, we're able to flick it up to rich mix, overtake and DRS. And really, it's a relatively easy move. I've got him here as well. Not really having to worry too much. We can actually go back to the racing line almost before we get into the chicane. Catching another warning though. And at this point, Stars has 9 seconds of penalties, as does Trin, as we set the fastest lap of the race. Whereas I'm only on 6 at this point. So it's really important that we don't catch any more warnings now, because I believe that was my first warning for my next pen, so definitely making sure of that. But in the end, didn't need to worry about it. And as we come up to the line here, we basically go for a bit of a showy finish between the two Williams here, knowing that I already had the win on penalties. It wasn't worth really battling for it for the next few laps. So just happy to get the 1-2 for Williams. Really, it was absolutely insane. I know there was a couple people in the AFR stream chat that were not too happy about us battling for the win, but when one of us already had it basically on penalties, it's not worth throwing away those points through an accident or something, when they're already in the bag based on everyone else's penalties. But yeah, overall a pretty insane race. Obviously for the first half of the race, the top 4 were insanely close. It sort of spread out a little bit towards the end with a few incidents and stuff that everyone had, but yeah, absolutely insane. If you enjoyed, please feel free to subscribe. There won't be a video for France because I actually slept through that race. That was my bad, so won't be one for that. But if you want to watch Austria, that'll be happening this Sunday at 8:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, so feel free to tune in on my Twitch channel. Link will be in the description, and highlights for that video, or that stream, will be up on the YouTube channel probably between 3 and 4 days after that, so maybe Wednesday or Thursday next week. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we might see you around next time.